Alrighty guys, this is snugsonblitz and I'm back with another video for you today. We're counting down my top 10 quote-unquote sneaky tricks. They're not that sneaky. Most players know them if they're pros or very experienced players, but some people might not be aware of them. In fact, many people didn't seem to get the memo. So I'm counting them down, sharing them here, and hoping you get some value from them. We're up to number 8 on my list, and we're going to be looking at maps today. Quote-unquote sneaky spots on a few maps that maybe you're aware of, maybe you're not aware of. And we're going to start off with, which map am I going to choose here? I think we're going to go with, we'll go with Black Goldville. So imagine you're in a medium tank with a good turret and good gun depression. You could go here. Yes, this will allow you to peek up over and not take many hits in return. You can peek on over here if you like, but just be careful, you might get hit. So you're going to be using this little zone to take shots here, 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 and spot up enemy tanks. This will work for tanks such as Defender Mark 1, as I've got here, an STB, maybe T62, Cromwell B. The more gun depression you have, the easier these shots will be, but you need a turret as well so you don't get wrecked in return. Now, this is a position most people are probably aware of, this little bush here. In a light tank, you can spot up quite a lot of the enemy tanks trying to push the caves up top. You can shoot the bush there, you can shoot across here, get a lot of good shots, and you won't take many hits in return, especially if you have a good turret. You can push on out a little bit aggressively if you like, but only do so after you know the enemy is fired or they're not looking your way. That would be my advice. So that's the second spot. And remember, we're talking about tanks with decently good gun depression. So I'm talking about 8 plus degrees would really be the best for these positions. And again, you need a good turret too. This position is a little bit unusual. Most average players don't use it. You can shoot tanks coming into the cave there. You won't take any hits, or if you do, it'll be your turret, hard shot. You can peek on out quickly and see if there's any tank destroyers there. If there's anybody in the center, he won't be able to hit you. The tank destroyer won't be able to shoot your rear. You can peek on out and shoot that bush as well. Just be careful. The more you peek out, the more chance you're going to get hit. But if you're just going to do a little bit of spotting and you know where they are, you'll be able to take advantage of this. And if the tank tries to push in on that side, you can get them as well. But you do have to be careful, because if you back on up too far, you will get some shots at your rear. So focus on this area and the area I was looking at previously. Don't really worry about the center that much. Okay, remember, don't back on up too far, because then you're going to get wrecked from these kind of guns over here. So you're going to be doing little micro movements around this zone. Yeah, that's all you really be doing. Yeah, up and down. Let them shoot your turret. Let them shoot your turret. Believe in your turret if you have a strong turret. Okay, so that's got tanks with good gun depression. If you're in a tank destroyer, you could use this bush. It's okay, it's not the best. I mean, it can work. Really hope the enemy pushes in if you're in that position though. This is probably a better position for you if you're in a tank destroyer, because you can just use this building as cover, just backing on up. This is also a pretty good position here. You're able to spot tanks on that side if they're coming around. You've got cover. It's a pretty good position. Maybe a medium tank. Heavies can work that position as well, I guess. Now, if you're in a light tank, one position you can take early on in the game is this bush right here. My advice is do not shoot. Do not shoot, really. Just spot. You'll see anybody going to C-cap, which is great news, because C-cap is a death trap. Stay away from it. You can also shoot tanks going that way. It's a sneaky spot for such a tank such as the AMX 1390 or Bat Chat. Very good spot. What else have we got on this map? If you're a tank destroyer, you could also take maybe one of these positions here. Now, when I say tank destroyer, I'm not talking about like a CC-64 or a T-28 Proto. They're more heavily armed, but like a grill. This is a great position. Any tanks pushing hard on A-cap through the center there will be able to be ripped apart, and they won't be able to spot you for a while. You can also, if you're in a grill or a waffle, maybe use this bush, which I don't really recommend because you're way out of the battle, but if they're pushing hard and heavy, over in the caves, sometimes you can get some nice shots. This position actually is not too bad either. Again, if your mediums are kind of holding them off, you can get quite a lot of shots from here. And there you go. That is Black Goldville. Some spots to think about. Try them out, see what you find. Moving on to Winter Malinovka. Okay, I'm in a medium tank again. I'm talking STB and the Defender Mark 1. Most mediums will probably go this way. Chugga-lugga-lugga-lugga. And using this rock as cover, this bush as camo protection, get some shots on your enemy tanks if they don't use the cover and don't use protection. You can peek out on this side and get shots over there. You can also get shots over there. And if you're really daring, you can push up over here. I don't recommend this early on in the game unless you're super fast, because if you get lit up, sometimes the tank destroyers from over there will be able to rip you apart. So that's this zone. Yeah, everybody knows that. Well, I hope everybody does anyway. If you're watching this video, my guess is you are. Now, just like the other map, there is another bush you can use, which is a little bit creative, and that's this one. It's more center-oriented. You get shots on tanks coming this way, which inevitably happens. The only problem is that sometimes tanks go to B cap, and you can get wrecked if you're around here, so you might have to back on up. However, if there are no tanks at B, you can get some easy shots here and not take any shots in return. So you just got to be careful, but you do get some shots on the heavies as well. As for some tank destroyer positions, let's take a look-see. Well, this isn't rocket science on this map, really. Okay, if you're in a grill or a waffle, this position's okay. It's not my favorite choice, but you can get shots on tanks trying to go over there. Excuse me. You can use this position over here if tanks are pushing hard and heavy. Center area, not really the best position, but it can work. You can also use, let's say, this bush here. Again, you're looking for bushes if you're in a grill or waffle, generally speaking. You'll get some good shots here if they're pushing hard and heavy over at C cap. But again, if teams are not pushing, then you're pretty much useless. So you can get some shots on the heavies again if they're pushing over as well. So not too bad. But I personally would prefer to use this position over here, although most people will know you're probably sitting here. It's one of the more popular spots. You get A cap there, you've got the ridge over here, and you also have C cap. Yeah, so do a lot of damage from this position in a grill or a waffle, a lightly armored tank destroyer. Yeah, it's a pretty good position. Can't really shoot you that way. This is the only position you're really going to get wrecked in is here, because you get shot across the map. So just be careful of that. But honestly, on this map, if you're in a tank destroyer, I just thought of another spot I'm going to share with you now. This is if you're in a heavy tank, good armor, side scraping ability, Chrysler K, VK 100, Object 252. You can also use this position here against the building. Yeah, you can shoot it over there. This is not the best really, because you probably take some return fire, so you want to maybe maneuver yourself a little bit more to the center. I'm sorry, but here you get some shots in over there at C cap. That is pretty nice. I do have a game coming up in my VK something 100 where I do use this position. It's pretty useful. You can choose which way to go. You can definitely side scrape this way if you're in the Chrysler K or something like that, something like this. There you go. So, I know it takes a little bit of wiggling and moving back and forth, but you just use this, I don't know, these buildings as cover, and you're fine. You can pop on out if someone's at B. But the position that you really want to be in for a tank destroyer, for most tank destroyers anyway, maybe a Jaegeru would work in this position, grill. I wouldn't recommend it for a tank such as the E3, but I mean it can work because your job is to dish out damage. And this is one of the best places on any map. It's right over here. Yep, this little bush. I mean, come on. Come on, what's not to like about this bush? You can shoot A cap right in there. Boom, 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 boom. If you're tall enough, you'll get easier shots. You can shoot tanks in the center. Easy shots all the way through. You can get even B cap sometimes. And of course, you can support your meds at C. Yes, they are a mile away, but so what? If they're focused on the mediums, they're not focused on you. So you can also shoot that bush, which sometimes tanks use. We have one over here, around there. This, in my opinion, is one of the cheesiest positions for tank destroyers in the entire game, but it works. I'm telling you, just back on up when you fire or if you get spotted. And anyway, that's that. Let's move to port bay. We have some interesting positions, okay? Again, we're going to use a medium tank to demonstrate. Defender Mark 1. You get wrecked crossing the river here, so just be careful. It might take 1 or 2 hits, but I sometimes think it's worth it, because once you've got this position here, you can sometimes control the entire side here. You have got shots, tank destroyers or tanks over there. You've got shots over there for heavy tanks crossing. If you've got a good turret, you'll bounce a lot of shells just by peeking over. You'll lure people into shooting your turret. You can shoot the bridge. You can shoot the mediums that cross over here. Yeah, once you've taken out the mediums, they might not be able to spot you, so this is a great position. A slightly worse position, in my opinion, is this one over here. You can get trapped over here. It's easier to back up over there, back to cover. But you've got shots over here, of course, and sometimes mediums are sitting down here just entrenched, so you can try and work on them over here. Just be careful, because if there's a tank destroyer at the back, they're going to wait for you to push on out to kill, for example, like a T-62, and then you can get hit pretty dang hard. So, what else could you use if you're in STB, maybe a T-62, again, a fast tank, good gun depression, decent armor? You can actually go, I'm going to show you in a second here, actually you can go around this zone right here, because as I said, tanks will cross, so you can get 1 shot, sometimes 2 shots, sometimes even 3 shots in, because the first tank may get hit, the second tank will come behind him, and if you can track one of them, yeah, you'll get another 3rd shot in with a defender. So lovely stuff. Maybe an AMX can work this position as well, but you've got to get back because you will take some hits. But a defender can use his turret. Now, defender can actually use this position as well. I know it's crazy, but when you have an almost indestructible turret, you can use positions like this even against heavy tanks. Yes, if they use HE, they will do damage, and sometimes they will be able to hit your little cupola on the top, but it is a tough pen. Most people will just hit your turret. Now, if you go over too far, you're going to get ripped apart by everybody, so you got to be looking like this, or even less, just like teeny tiny beaks. But it can work, because you got shots over there, yeah, great position as well, but you've got to know what you're doing. What else is there? Well, this is a position that pros use, so you got to get here fast, and that is, you demonstrate you're coming in, game starts, you rush, you forget about the corner where everybody's going, and you just rush up here quickly. Now, this position, you will get at least 1 or 2 shells into you, probably getting here, but once you're here, you're pretty much protected. You can shoot over there, you can shoot tanks going across, you can shoot the heavies as they come out, yeah, you can shoot them down, track them, cause all sorts of trouble for them. You can shoot tanks across the river, trust me on that. It's a very good position. And you can back on up into cover if you need to. As I said, you could shoot the tanks over there. Most people will be surprised they're getting hit from this side, but yeah. You might take some return fire from those tanks. So in that position, or at that point, you're just gonna have to back on up and make yourself a tough target. Now then, let's look at one of the most aggressive positions you can take on any map, and it can only work if you are with a platoon mate who goes to medium side and has a good turret, such as a T-62. You could actually push up over here, let's say in a 140. If the enemy team is too slow, they don't have many medium tanks, you can get here and really cause all sorts of trouble. The heavies can't push in. It allows your heavy tanks to push on up as well. You've got map control. They can't push in over there because your teammate will cover you. This is an extremely tough position to use. I would never recommend it if you're playing by yourself. I would never recommend it if you don't know what you're doing. But if you have a good platoon mate, if your teammates are coming with, you can just push this position. Your teammates will love you for it. It is extremely dangerous though. However, risk versus reward. Sometimes it can pay off. If they have faster tanks than you, then no, don't do it. But if you're faster, you have hull down beasts as well, yeah, you can really rock them to high heaven. So there you have it, a few positions mainly for tanks with gun depression and a good turret, but some TD spots, some light tank positions, and some sneaky spots that you probably never heard of before. So what are some of your favorite sneaky spots? Let me know in the comments below if you have any. Did you know all of these positions? My guess is probably you are familiar with most of them. But just remember, if you are in a tank with a good turret, such as the Defender Mark 1, believe in your turret. Your turret can do incredible things. Trust it, use it, and annihilate your enemies. And with that, I'll see you next time. Snugs on Blitz, out.